The trick to drawing a room in one-point perspective is making sure that the back wall is in correct proportion to the front wall. Otherwise, when you start drawing the room, you'll find that the ceiling doesn't match up. This is what happens when you don't measure. So this tutorial will show you how to do that. You start out by a 12 by 18 piece of drawing paper and a 9 by 12 piece of oak tag, and you can see that the oak tag is half the width of the drawing paper. It's very important that they be in proportion to one another. What you're going to do is you're going to now make them both into squares, a larger square for the drawing paper and a smaller square for the oak tag. And you start out by folding the drawing paper like so, and what you're going to do is you're going to cut it, and you're going to cut off the extra. So now the top part will end up being 12 inches just like the side is. So you fold it first like this, and then you're going to fold the extra to create a straight line on the other side, and this is going to give you a 12 by 12 inch square. So now that I've cut it, I have a diagonal line across, and I'm going to fold it again to create another diagonal line going the other way. And where those lines cross in the middle, this is the vanishing point. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my piece of oak tag and I'm going to fold it the exact same way, and that's going to give me a smaller square. So I fold it down the same way, and that's going to give me a 9 inch by 9 inch square, because I'm taking my 9 inch side and I'm folding it against the 12 inch side and then cutting off the extra, and I'm making an extra fold there where the extra goes to make sure that when I cut it in a straight line. So now I'm going to have one smaller square and one larger square. That smaller square is made up of two triangles, and you're going to cut that in half along the diagonal line. And what that's going to do, I'm going to end up with a larger triangle, which I'm going to set aside, and I'm going to take one of my triangles and I'm going to fold it exactly in half and cut it to create a smaller triangle. And I'm going to take one of those smaller triangles and I'm going to set it aside, and you're not done yet. You got to take your small triangle and fold it in half one last time. So now you're going to have three triangles, a small, a medium, and a large one. You can take your smallest one and match it to the vanishing point on all four sides, and that's how you're going to draw the ceiling, the walls, and the floor of your room. By doing this, you'll ensure that the back wall of your room matches up because it is in correct proportion to the front wall of the room. And when you're done drawing that box to indicate the back wall, you're now going to draw the four lines where the ceiling meets the wall, where the wall meets the floor, and that will give you the basic shape of your room. Now you take your largest triangle and you're going to start making the door. The top of the door goes to the vanishing point. The sides of the door are vertical. How do you ensure they're vertical? You take the 90-degree angle and you match it to the bottom of the page, and you're going to draw vertical lines going from the floor up. Make sure they're vertical. How do you know they're vertical? Because you take the 90-degree angle and you match it to the bottom of the page. The line that makes the door three-dimensional is horizontal, so you match the triangle to the side of the page and you're going to get a horizontal line. Now it's time to worry about the table. Okay, the top edge of the table that's nearest you is horizontal, so you match the 90-degree angle to the side of the page. The one that's farthest away from you is also horizontal, so you match it to the side of the page and draw your horizontal line. The sides of the table go to the vanishing point, so you make those. And how do you make the vertical lines going up and down? You have to take the triangle and match it to the bottom of the page and make sure all four of those lines are vertical, and the bottom edge of the table goes to the vanishing point. So you see the pattern with one-point perspective. Here you take the 90-degree angle and match it to the top of the page to make the two horizontal lines, the two vertical lines for the window, and the bottom and top of the window go to the vanishing point. In 1-point perspective, all lines are either horizontal or vertical or go to the vanishing point. If you limit your lines to those 3 directions, you really can't go wrong. So there I am making my window, and then I erase the extra. And to find the middle of the window, I make 2 diagonal lines. Make sure to make them very light. Where they cross, that X, that's the center of the window. And now to make the mullions inside the window, I'm going to take my triangle. I'm going to match the 90-degree angle to the top of the page and make the vertical line. And I have to... The trick is to match the 90-degree angle all the way along the top of the paper. That way you're ensured that the line you draw is indeed vertical. You're going to line it up with where those 2 diagonal lines cross, and then you're going to make a vertical line. The other line for the inside mullion of the window goes to the vanishing point. So you line it up with the middle of the X and the vanishing point, and you draw that line. And that's how you create a window. Now I'd like to create a bed. I'm going to make 2 lines going to the vanishing point, and I'm going to make sure they're on the floor. Okay? Now, I don't know if they're the right length as each other. I may have to erase the extra on one of them. So what I'm going to do is draw a horizontal line going across until it crosses the first line, and then I can erase the extra. Then I'm going to take my 90-degree angle, and I'm going to draw 4 vertical lines up from the corner, up from each corner of the bed. So I'm going to line my 90-degree angle up with the bottom of the page, so I have 4 perfectly vertical lines. Again, I don't know if they're the right length as each other. I can always erase the extra later. What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the 2 lines at the foot of the bed to the vanishing point, making sure that line is angled to the vanishing point. Now, to figure out how long the lines need to be at the head of the bed, I'm going to line my 90-degree angle up with the edge of the paper and draw horizontal lines across from each corner. And then what I'll do is I can erase the extra from those 2 lines, those 2 vertical lines at the head of the bed. And now I have this perfect box shape. I can use this box shape to create a couch, a bed, really whatever I want. So I've decided I'm going to convert it into a bed. One of the things I need to do is erase the extra, the lines that are in back of the bed, the corner of the wall, the things that I wouldn't see because the bed's in front of it. And then I'm going to start converting it into a bed. So I'm going to give it a pillow, some blankets, really just have a lot of fun making it into a bed. Once I've made the bed, I've decided that I really want to be fancy, and I'd like a canopy for that bed. So to make a canopy bed, I've got to extend the lines of each corner vertically up, and I'll use my 90-degree angle to do that. And first I'm making the blankets, I'm making it all cute and fancy, and now I'm going to take my 90-degree angle, and I'm going to extend the lines up from each corner of the 4 posts of the bed. Now again, I don't know how long to make them, so I'm going to always be able to erase the extra later. But what I'll do is I'll connect the 2 lines at the foot of the bed, and that goes to the vanishing point. And then I will erase the extra, and then I can make 2 horizontal lines by matching my 90-degree angle up with the right-hand edge of the page. I can make 2 horizontal lines across, and wherever they touch the 2 posts at the head of the bed, that shows how long it should be. Then I can erase the extra, and if I did it correctly, the top corners of the canopy should line up with each other and to the vanishing point. They do, so I connect those lines using the straight edge of my largest triangle to connect the lines. And that's how I create the canopy of the bed. Now I'm looking at my table and it no longer looks right. I think it would look a lot better as a chest of drawers than it would as a table. So I'm going to go and play around with that a little bit. And once you get the concept of how to make a room and how to make furniture, you're going to find that you can now have a lot of fun and add some interesting details and really make the drawing your own. And that's how you create a room using 1-point perspective.